Hey, this is John Carlos, and I'm here with a look at the DC Collectibles action figure of the Joker from Batman, the animated series. Now, I like Cesar Romero and Jack Nicholson and Heath Ledger's Joker a lot, but for my money, the best translation of the character from comic to any kind of screen has always been the animated series Joker, voiced by Mark Hamill. And I think the fact that they've made an action figure of him so well, I mean, they made like the old Kenner ones back in the day, but to have like DC Collectibles do such a good version of it, I think is really awesome. If you look at the articulation here, he's got the mid-torso cut, which it's a swivel, and you can't even like see it, so that's great. You got the shoulder hinges that are really well done. It's a ball hinge, the single elbow hinge, which does swivel too. Be careful when you're bending these for the first time out of the package, a lot of purple paint flakes off. Same thing with his gloved hands, which swivel in and out and rotate, although the actual hinge to go in and out is a little tight on my right one. He comes with some alternate hands, and yeah, the paint flakes off all of them. The legs coming forward and back and in and out, really solid. The quality of these is really strong as far as like the plastic in the joint. And I'll get to that in a moment as to why. The single hinge for the knee looks good, especially from the front. You see the cut, but it's not super jarring. It still kind of follows a nice line down the leg. And his feet are a swivel. They're not a hinge. There's no ball joint in there. It's just a flat foot. But one of the things I like about his feet is it does help the figure stand quite well. Because Series 1 figures had a lot of problems, especially with standing and little tiny ankle joints. There was a Q&A with the DC Collectibles people, and they talked about how they're going to delay Series 2 for quality control and how they developed new materials, or they were using new materials for their joints. And I think the quality of some of these joints are really, really strong due to that delay. They also spent some time on quality control as far as design, redesigning. The Series 1 figures had these very noticeable holes in the front. They were really ugly, and they got rid of them. Now, the paint on his shoes, the paint on his gloves, his shirt, his tie, his flowers, all really, really strong. But speaking of quality control, I just want to mention, when I was hunting for this in stores, I saw a bunch, I mean a bunch, that had the red paint on his mouth smearing everywhere. And I was really surprised that despite that quality control, there were still some paint issues. Despite that, the one that I got, man, looks really, really good. The paint on his teeth is great. The sculpt on his teeth is great. But as far as emulating the look of the animated series goes, I mean, the shape of his nose, his smile, his creepy eyes, and then the way they sculpted his hair and then highlighted that with the green paint going through, I just think, man, this head sculpt is just damn near perfect. In fact, I'd say this figure is damn near perfect. Also, his range of motion on his head, you can't get it to tilt up that much, but it does turn left and right pretty good. He comes with a few accessories, like an alternate pair of hands. These little weird grip hands, they grip really tiny little things. They're not meant for gripping like a gun or anything. We'll get to that in just a moment. And he comes with a larger pair of grip hands. And they look almost like Mickey gloves, you know, just when they're not plugged in. They look kind of thick, but they do, you know, fit dimensionally. He also comes with this, like, helmet that he uses in the episode The Last Laugh. I'm an idiot trying to pry this thing apart when you don't even need to. It just fits right over his head really perfectly. He also comes with this telescope, which is, you know, sculpted fine. It's got a little blue paint there for the lens. And this necklace, which if you're starting to notice, these are really like episode specific. Every accessory in this comes from the episode The Last Laugh. This tiny, tiny little comb and this little tiny screwdriver. Now the screwdriver does fit into this little hand like that. And the comb fits into this little tiny hand like so. Well, I think it can, and there. Lastly, the figure comes with a figure stand, and like all of them, they have little character turnarounds on them. And I think that's a really nice touch. Also, with the little holes for the animation style paper. To assemble this, you just plug in the pull there, and then it comes with this arm with the little claws on it, and also can slide forward and back, which helps you position the figure onto the stand a little better as far as depth goes, and not just, you know, height with the arm going up and down. Pretty much every Joker figure I've ever gotten in my lifetime usually comes with what I consider to be very typical Jokery accessories, like a gun, or a smiling fish, or a bomb. And it might seem kind of weird for them to make a Joker figure that comes with a necklace, or a screwdriver, but it's a very episode-specific figure. All the accessories for this come from the episode The Last Laugh. In fact, all the figures in this series are credited as being from a specific episode. So I gotta give them props for like episode accuracy, but that's kind of one of the good idea, bad ideas of doing episode specific accessories, is like the nerd cred is great because they're, you know, super gooby from an episode, but it's weird to have a Joker figure with, you know, a comb as an accessory. But I think this figure turned out really, really good. This wave was delayed by a few months so they could do quality control, and the Poison Ivy from this wave was delayed even longer. And I think it was worth the wait because the quality of this figure certainly outweighs the quality of the figures in Wave 1, which were so brittle, my Batman's leg broke, and that sort of thing. So I really dig this. I dig that he comes with a figure stand, but what I really dig is he doesn't need it because he stands really good on his own. I like this figure a lot. Thanks for watching.